Hey guys, it's Mike with another King Arthur Legends Rise video. I'm going to try to get this uploaded before the patch is live and going. But unfortunately my upload speeds are a little rough and editing time and yada yada. But it should be launching sometime tonight, hopefully. But we've got the new patch coming in with a couple new details, so pretty exciting. Starting off, I wanted to say I feel like Netmarble's done a great job this time around by sending out extra communications. We actually got a communication last week on the 18th, and then I did see this one come through on the 22nd. Unfortunately, I meant to do a video on it, but Memorial Day weekend kind of got away from me. I was busy with the family, having a good time. Hope you guys had an awesome Memorial Day weekend as well. But on these dev notes, we got the teasers for the new bosses that came out on the 18th, and then we got these guys here kind of speaking a little more to what's coming into the game. So the content is talking about is the new PvP content is about to begin. I can only imagine that means during this update. Talking about the importance of different buffs such as polymorph, so your Arduin. I'm trying to think if anybody else in the game does polymorph other than Arduin, but she's there. And then your attack up, defense, and HP buffs as well might come into enhancing characters or helping you get through some of this PvP content. So it kind of sounds pretty fun. It may be interesting as far as the way, I mean, I'm assuming that there's more to the attack, defense, and HP buffs than just making your team stronger, because obviously they do that. But I'm thinking maybe it's a way that it allows you to do damage to other players or something along those lines. But then they also talk about your gear being an important part of what's going on, and a new gear enhancement method, equipment engraving, will be added. So the next step as far as enhancing your equipment in my mind would be awakening it. So maybe some sort of way of turning your 6-star equipment into 6-star awakened equipment. Hopefully another currency that might be associated with this PvP content. As you fight in here, you get a certain token or a certain something that allows you to upgrade materials or upgrade your actual equipment. So I think that'd be pretty cool. Hopefully they don't just put it behind gold so we can spend even more time in Gorgos. But at least it is something new in the game to give us something to work on to help us creep up the power of our champions. And then this last thing, it says, don't miss the chance to dismantle equipment you no longer need. Obtain materials and use them to make equipment even stronger as you wish. So there could be some sort of sacrificing older equipment to get some of this token, maybe, to help you make it better. Or they might just be referring to the fact that we only have a limited amount of space in our item bags. So get rid of it, empty out your bags, and get ready for the newer stuff you're going to be working on. But either way, I think this is exactly what Netmarble needs to do. This came out several days ago on the 22nd as just a teaser for what's on the horizon for the upcoming patch. Then if we take a look at the patch for today, this actually launched 24 minutes ago. So they're actually discussing exactly what's going on. So let's take a minute, jump in here, and see what we can look forward to when the game comes back online. So the first piece of content is the PvP they were alluding to, where they have an event arena that's going to be opening up in the Coliseum. Looks like they're going to be breaking us up into groups of 200, I'm assuming. Starting from number 200, a list of 4 players displayed, and you can challenge them using arena tickets. So we'll see if it's just ongoing or if you get a certain amount of arena tickets. If you win, you're getting honor tokens. Will be distributed based on your opponent's rank. So if you fight higher ranked players, theoretically it would be higher. And then you have these buff systems in place that enhance your characters, make them a little more powerful, as well as enhancements that you can purchase. So the kind of an interesting thing to see how that plays out and exactly what it's talking about here. But we got new content as far as an event coming into the game, or event arena coming into the game, which is pretty exciting. You unlock this once you clear story mode on normal 5.7, so it's going to be pretty early game content. They're going to get you involved in this. And then the arena tickets are recharged daily to the max amount one can own, which is obviously vague. I think it's intentionally vague. So maybe depending on your level or your ranking, you get more tickets or less tickets, or they haven't decided how many tickets we're getting. I don't know. We'll find out. But they do recharge. So you do. It sounds like you have a set amount, which I think is the right move. Ongoing and indefinite arena is probably not a good move, and I think that the arena kind of reflects that. So having a set amount of tickets we get to use is going to be pretty good. So the next two pieces actually kind of go hand in hand. We have the equipment engraving system and the dismantle equipment system. And so it is now going to be allow us to further enhance our equipment. You can add 2 types of stats, basic and special stats. When engraving, both stats and values change at the same time according to the set rates. And it is not possible to change only one of them. So I guess both stats are going to change. It's not possible to only change one. I'm not entirely sure. Or maybe that's referring to the change dust that we get, or that change powder, where we're not able to use that. It's kind of oddly worded. I'm not entirely sure what that means. Materials required to engrave can be obtained by dismantling equipment. And that's where this next thing comes into play, where you dismantle equipment. The stats and values vary based on the equipment part, and you got to clear normal mode 4.7. So again, pretty early game content that they're bringing in the game, but it is going to allow end-game accounts to really start fine-tuning their equipment to match their builds and kind of min-max their characters. On the dismantling of the equipment, the materials required to engrave equipment can be obtained through this system. So we're going to dismantle old equipment in order to get the materials we need to engrave the new ones. So you can obtain 3 engraving materials and gold at set rates. So you're going to get gold and engraving materials from this, which is actually kind of nice. So from that, you're going to be getting the forged fragment, the transformed residue, and the recovered essence. That's going to be the materials needed to engrave the basic stats and the special stats and enhance your gear further. And again, clearing main story mode 4.7 is where that comes in. All right, fourth, we have Hall of Conquerors Season 2. We got Blazing Gorgos, so that's kind of what we were thinking. The boss that receives additional damage from inflict dot and dot explosion effects. And then I believe Syrian, inflict debuffs on Syrian to increase the damage dealt by your allies. So maybe the more debuffs you stack on him, the more damage he receives. And then Talos, looks like Talos is coming back. And the element will change to Storm. So that'll be a new affinity to kind of match up for Talos. So we got those new bosses coming in. Pretty exciting. I am glad they brought in a dot damage boss, just because we all have dot teams that we've built. And I feel in the last 3 bosses, we really didn't get a chance to put them into effect. New additions down here. We got a new feature to send clan invitations via chat to promote the clan and encourage members to recruit. It looks like further communications for new clan members in the for clan wars and such. And then we have new war team preset settings that are coming in. And then in the inventory, they're doing a new function to the bulk opening of those chance-based chests. So I'm not sure if maybe they're capped out currently, or is there something where they make that a little smoother. And then the new auto challenge next stage will be added to the stage breakthrough type content. So that would probably be your forbidden dungeon and so forth. So you could just hit auto battle and it would just go without you having to come back and click every time. So that's a good quality of life win in that space. And then the moment we've all been waiting for, are we getting a new champion? The answer is yes. Yes, we are. New legendary hero Hild. Rate up summons. They are still using the verbiage from the Charlotte launch, which was, I don't even know, almost 2 months ago. But I'm assuming they don't mean Charlotte. It will not be possible to obtain Hild through the other summoning tickets. So just through the rate up summons as per usual. We also have the relics associated with the new champion, as well as the half-year anniversary event 1 and 2, stamina consumption event, arena challenge event, event arena daily missions event. So probably be a lot of goodies in here. You got the raid bounty with Tarrasque Stormcat, new returning player check-in event. So that's going to be, that's your 30-day login. As you lock in, you get those different rewards that pop in. And then getting back to Hild, you've got the Conquest Hild, and then the Hild mission event, as well as an event dungeon surrounding Hild. So I think that you'll probably want to pull the champion early so you can get in there, get those extra tokens, and kind of max out what's going on in there for the goodies that they're going to bring. Not to mention, we're always excited to have a new champion coming to the game, so we definitely are really good looking to pull for them. From here, they sum up the packages here. You got 30 new packages. 3 of them are for, or 3 new packages for new players and 3 for exclusive for returning players. So I kind of like that they do this here instead of listing them all out, because it just kind of is a lot to read through all the new packages. So just kind of spelling out the stuff's coming in the game. If you want to look at it, it'll be in game, so you can take a peek at it. Improvements, we got mission rewards improvements for your daily mission, weekly, and monthly. So this is a pretty big quality of life here. On the daily, you're still going to get 1, but you're also going to get this resource chest times 5. On the weekly, instead of getting 2 special summons, you're going to get 5 plus the resource chest times 10. And then on the monthly session, we're actually getting a 10 pull of special summons and then the resource chest times 20. So that's going to be a lot of extra resources coming in right there. So that's actually really nice. And then as we jump into the power-up dungeons, they're going to remove 4-star equipment from floor 10 of all the power-up dungeons, which I think is probably, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. And then obviously because of that, they're going to have to increase the appearance rates of 5- and 6-star equipment. On the power-up dungeon, they're going to reduce the difficulty of floors 7 through 9 of each dungeon, which probably makes sense, specifically 7, because I think that that's where you start usually getting the highest ranked material in the dungeon, and it usually is a pretty big step from 6 to 7, so that was kind of a big hurdle to climb. So I think it'll probably be a little smoother when you're coming up from the beginning of the game to get all the way up through floor 10, and that is excluding Burning Land, and that's probably just the way the dot features work on Gorgos. It's like once you got that team going, it becomes pretty easy, just a matter of staying alive. Power-up dungeon, add Gorgos getting a passive skill at the start of battle, gain mark immunity for the rest of the battle, gain explosion damage taken increased by 1,000%. So this is kind of an interesting thing to talk about. This gain explosion damage taken increased by 1,000%. I'm not entirely sure if anybody is exploding dots at this time. I think there's like Sigrun and Iwarit explode mark, but I think the mark immunity would kind of be negating putting marked on him. I don't know if that's even a strategy people are really using, but the explosion damage dot kind of makes me think Hild might be a dot specialist and maybe a dot exploder, which would be really cool, because in other games where you have that dot explosion, you can really build some fun teams around that mechanic. And it looks like they're moving some of the achievement conditions down in Forbidden Dungeon Hard. I think I was watching Dialar Tactics saying that nobody has beaten floor 51 in the hard mode of Forbidden Dungeon, and maybe with the upgraded enhancements we can do to gear and some of this stuff, this might be starting to get to that point. Not to mention we got the breakthrough where we can take on level 70, just get some more extra base stats, so all of our percentage increases just are that much more effective. But they are bringing down some of the rewards, it looks like, from floor 60 to floor 50 and floor 50 to floor 45. So that's just the achievement that you get out of there. And they have a couple, it looks like, cosmetic upgrades to make it more clear as to what's going on, some of the event shops and so forth. But there's actually a couple of these other improvements that are pretty cool. First one, it sounds like they're opening the favor dungeon, so all the favor dungeons will be open at all times, so you don't have to wait for a specific day to enhance your characters, which I think is kind of cool. We're also getting the battle multiplier times 4 and times 5 in those blank spaces that have been in there, so that is going to be a big win there. And then we're also getting an increase to the maximum stamina for each account level, and the thing we've been asking for a long time, when leveling up, the maximum amount of stamina will be granted. So I'm assuming that means the maximum amount will be added to what you have. Because otherwise, it kind of already does maximize, it grants you the maximum of what you can have, but it just caps you out there, which is kind of silly. So I'm assuming that means they fixed it where when you level up, you're going to get the maximum amount on top of what you already have in there. At least I'm hoping. But those are also some awesome quality of life improvements that we got going on there. And then from there, it goes into kind of some bug fixes and some other issues that are kind of, I'm assuming those are usually pretty small. But that's actually a really big patch. It's a huge improvement. Really exciting. We're getting a new character. I'd like to see what we've got going on Hild, see if I can find anything, and bring you back in. So jumping out into YouTube, I'm not seeing anything on the new champion. When they launched Caliber and Arthur, this video, I believe it did come out the day after Caliber and Arthur came to the game. But it was, yeah, right along those times. So hopefully we'll get a new video highlighting the new champion and kind of speaking us through some of the things. But outside of that, they'll be in game here in a couple hours. So we'll be able to kind of poke around in the event and look at their skill set and so forth. But that's about what I got for you today. Pretty exciting. I always love Tuesdays when we get the events coming in. I think they're making some pretty big moves for this half anniversary event with a lot of quality of life stuff with the stamina and the upgrading of gear, as well as the new PvP content coming in. We got the new bosses and a new and a new champion all at the same time, which is pretty exciting. I feel like there was something else that was pretty cool that I'm missing out on too. But it's going to be a lot going on in the game for the next couple weeks, so that's pretty exciting. Can't wait to get in and play with it. But I appreciate you guys hanging out with me all the way to the end. In about 2 hours, we'll be back in the game playing it up. So appreciate you guys, and we'll see you next time.